Happy Friday, YouTube. Today is Friday. It is April the 26th, and I'm excited because I've made a new commitment to this channel. This is Pop Analysis channel. I'm your host, Pop Analysis. Some of you know me by the name of Shala. And I'm super excited to be back talking to you guys today. There's been so much that's went on in the news. There's been so much that's went on in my life. Primarily good things, great things. I'm still here. I'm still getting it. And I was wondering, how do I get back into doing something that I enjoy so much, which was bringing you guys content. I got to give personality and tell you about me, and I got to report on the news and give you commentary on things that I thought was interesting, or at least my take or my input. And I'm hoping that any of you guys that are still here, that still follow my channel, will stick with me because I promise I am making a commitment right now, and my commitment is going to bring you one video at least a week. At least. I am not one of those YouTubers that can afford to do videos every single day, because obviously I would have to be put in a position to do that, right? But I'm not one of those people, not yet, at least. But I promise from here on out, at the bare minimum, I will bring you one video a week. That's going to be covering topics of interest, topics that I think are worthy of speaking about, topics that I think that maybe there's opinion and commentary that has not been discussed or explored, and that maybe that is a place where I can come in and give some information. So it is wonderful to be back. I'm happy to be back. If you don't follow me, I hope you will. I hope you will like my content. I hope you will share it and get it out to other people that you think would benefit from hearing what I have to say. I absolutely enjoyed doing videos on YouTube and bringing you guys information about topics and discussions that I felt were worthy of speaking about. And I didn't want to be a person that just speaks about politics because, yeah, there's passion in politics, but it also gets very daunting, it gets very draining. And who wants to talk about politics all the time, right? But, our world, we're surrounded by us, and sometimes you can't even help it, right? So, anyway, having said that, um, I know you guys have paid attention to the news. There's a lot of topics in the news, but today I am going to be talking about none other than Stephen A. Smith. I think he is worth speaking about because it's the difference a week makes from him going on Sean Hannity and doing an interview. Maybe he was there for 6 minutes. Shout out to Sean Hannity too for not just talking over Stephen A. Smith. I found it hard to watch Sean Hannity because he talks over all his guests, and we cannot hear what those guests have to say because he's busy talking while he's asking questions at the same time. So shout out to Sean Hannity for giving that interview to Stephen A. Smith. So, without further ado, one of the areas, at least on the bottom line of the video, it noted that Stephen A. Smith calls out Democrats over their prosecution of Trump. Okay, so Stephen A. Smith was on Sean Hannity, and we're going to go through some of the comments that Stephen A. Smith noted when he was on Sean Hannity. He was pretty bold and, gangster, as he is in his fashion. I watch the NBA. I don't watch it during the regular season, but I do watch it during, like right now. And I don't know why it's leaving me right now during what do we call basketball season right now? The finals and the semifinals. I watch it during this time when it's the best of the best. So the best of the East, the best of the West, and that's horrible that I can't think about it right now. But yeah, so this is the time that I actually watch basketball. It's fun, it's entertaining. You get to watch athletes run up and down, you get to see your teams compete, and you get to see Stephen A. Smith, also known as Stephen Loudmouth Smith, speak and weigh in on basketball. So, his boy Shannon Sharp, he's got Club Shay Shay and he's got his thing going on. And I think Stephen A. Smith is trying to kind of transition out to some kind of way, maybe not to only be a person that talks about sports. He's trying to do more, probably seeing a need to do more that he can compete, and he can. He already has a platform. Everyone knows who he is. So all right, so we're getting into this, right? So Stephen A. Smith is on Sean Hannity. And Stephen A. Smith, I felt is really important because there's so many interviews that went on and everybody has spoken out about Stephen A. Smith, his comments and what he said and comparing the plight of what's going on with Trump to the plight of Black folks in America and their experience with the judicial system. And so he's gotten a lot of backlash from Black leaders. You see Roly Poly, Roland Martin, there's so many people coming out and attacking Stephen A. Smith, and apparently it seems like that pressure and that heat he has succumbed to, because now he's out doing like an apology tour or recanting what he said, and that's super unfortunate because that is not what he was saying the other day. Um, and so we're getting into it. So the first thing Stephen A. Smith had said to Sean Hannity was, "When I give a damn, I'll let you know." He said, "I don't. I'm going to speak my mind. I'm going to speak what I believe to be and true." So the hard part is like, if you believe these things to be true, then why would you say sorry about something that you truly believe in? Everybody's not going to believe in what you believe in, but if you believe in something, then I mean, honestly, you hold on to that opinion. You mean what you say, and if that's what's true to you, that's what's true to you. So why would you like roll back on that? You like lose respect when you do that, right? Shouldn't you just stand on your principles if that's something you truly believe in? So he went on to say, when I think about Donald Trump, I think about this case in New York, but I'm utterly disgusted with what I'm seeing because it seems to me they are trying to use the court and the law and politicize this thing with Donald Trump because they can't seem to offset the momentum he has clearly gained. And so, yes, lots of us see it that way. Some people don't, but lots of us see it that way. The reason why they're doing this and going after Trump is specifically because they want to stop him. They don't want him to win the presidency. This is election interference all over again. If you ask me, election interference started in 2016. They never let him govern without him being investigated, without him being spied on. um, Unfortunately, phony court cases, impeached twice for nothing. It's just been nonstop. And honestly, um, Donald Trump is a senior citizen just like anybody else. He deserves mercy and grace. And I mean, I think it's vicious what they're doing, and it still hasn't stopped. And that's unfortunate. That's for another video. Um, but honestly, guys, because there's so much content in this Stephen A. Smith thing, there's going to be a breakdown. He said a lot. It's loaded what he said. But I'm going to, in this part, I'm just going to be focusing on this very original first video that he did on Sean Hannity because he's done some follow-up videos after that. And I think those videos are also worth noting because there's a lot of content there and there's a lot to unpack. So this is still that very same interview with Sean Hannity. Next, he says you don't have the issues in your favor, so you're going to manipulate the system as best as you possibly can. That's correct. He said American people like law and order. It's true. They do. People want to feel safe in their neighborhoods no matter what their socioeconomic background is. If they're not engaging in a life of crime and they're just trying to raise their families and be safe, should they not be? Should they not have the opportunity to do so? They shouldn't have to be concerned because they don't know their neighbors or there's strange people lurking and people coming in that they don't know. Um, that causes conflict in neighborhoods if you don't really know your neighbor. the economy. He also talked about weaponizing the law against him, against Trump. So, what I really think that what I think that Stephen A. Smith is a big point that Stephen A. Smith could have really focused on is prosecutorial misconduct. And I think if we don't do anything, if there's no true legislation put in place, if people are not banging the drums, asking, demanding for legislation that basically is penalizing officers of the court for what they do, for the behavior that they engage in, then this is not going to stop. This weaponizing and going after political opponents to damage them, to damage their reputation, almost like, I mean, to put them in jail if they have the right ring of people that are willing to do it. This is dangerous and is setting a dangerous precedent. You cannot let this continue to go on. And who's going to be the one to stop it? Who's going to take this seriously? Are we just not supposed to take it seriously? Oh, because it's Donald Trump? When the next time, who's it going to be? What if it's you next time? What if it's someone else? The whole thing is that if they are able to take him down, what does that mean for the rest of us? We'll have a constitutional crisis on our hand. Some would say we already do. But I mean, look at the way that they are conducting themselves in Georgia, in New York. These cases, they're making up things. They're basically just making allegations and you're guilty. And now you have to prove to people that you're not guilty. It's a crazy world that we're living in. And there needs to be true legislation that addresses this. Um, I'm very sensitive to the topic of prosecutorial misconduct because I have a family member that was subject to that. And it is a serious thing. So, one of the things that had happened uh, in 2019, without going into details of who this article is about, and it actually does have my family member in it, but this was published by the New York Times, and this was noting about prosecutorial misconduct. And basically, Cuomo tried to have, and I'm just trying to get to it without going and reading to you the whole entire article. So there was support, after this thing happened, there's supporters that was basically saying, okay, um, so last week, okay, so this was 2019. Okay, I'm gonna have to read it from here. Last week, Governor Cuomo approved legislation to create a special commission to investigate local prosecutors for such allegations of misconduct. The commission would have the authority to sanction prosecutors and, in extreme cases, remove them from office. The governor has said the panel is the first of its kind in the country. The state's prosecutors have already vowed to challenge it in court as unconstitutional, setting the stage for a fierce legal battle that could land in the state's highest court. Someone else had called it a political stunt. The new bill is just another political stunt, they called it, with no hope of surviving judicial scrutiny, said David Soares, a Democrat who's an Albany County District Attorney and president of the state's District Attorneys Association. The commission impermissibly intrudes on core law enforcement functions, Mr. Soares, a Democrat, said. So essentially, without legislation, without anything in place that's stopping them from this behavior, from stopping them from doing corrupt acts, from Brady violations where they basically withhold information that would basically allow someone to be free, they're able to continue to engage in this and there is no penalty. So we have a lot of problems. We have a lot of problems in this country. And I mean, if they have it their way, they would want to stack the Supreme Court so they can get people to do their bidding. So, I mean, everything they want to do is disrupt the system. And the system is broken. It truly is. And we're witnessing it every day right now, unfortunately. DJT has to be in New York City every day for a phony case that expired and was just reignited by none other than Alvin Bragg. It's unfortunate. I wish the best for the Trump family, his children, his kids, because this is tough and it's very stressful. It doesn't matter that, he's Teflon Don. This stress, it has an effect on any and everybody. And so I pray for his family. I hope they're all prepared for the fight because it might get worse before it gets better, and I'm hoping it gets better. But just in general, I think that Stephen A. Smith should have made the point about prosecutorial misconduct because everything Stephen A. Smith said on that Sean Hannity interview was super important. And I think it's worth noting that going back because from all the criticism that he got, with all the criticism that he got, no one spoke about this. None of them challenged this part of it. They just didn't like the fact that he compared Donald Trump. Now, class wise, obviously, when it comes down to economics, money, yeah, the folks are mad at Trump because he can actually pay to fight. Whereas you had something like bail reform, and people think that bail reform was something bad, but let's think about why they put bail reform in the first place. Bail reform, the thought processes, at least behind bail reform, was the fact that you had people who didn't have money, basically. Let's just say poor people, for lack of a better term, who couldn't afford bail, who basically, essentially, because they couldn't afford bail, had to stay in jail. So the argument was like, that's not fair because if I basically, you got $1,000, you can pay bail and you can get out of jail. You don't, nope, you have to stay in jail because you don't have money. So essentially, that is the foundation and the core of what bail reform is. Now, we obviously know that clearly all that leniency has not helped because now, I mean, everything, unfortunately, everything they've done with this notion of caring and compassion, it's always to an extreme and it's always, unfortunately, at a disadvantage for the most vulnerable because just letting people commit crimes and letting them right out of jail, this has been a tragedy and it's been horrible on the citizens who live in these cities or these places where rampant crime is going on. So it's been detrimental to them. So the thought process, okay, good intentions, but really the reality is this is the reality. Um, it's crazy. We know that this whole Donald Trump being a threat to democracy is nonsense. Just remember, Donald Trump is only a threat to Democrats. That's it. Not to democracy, to Democrats. All right. And so I've spoken enough. I don't want to bore you. If you are still here, please like, share, and subscribe to Pop Analysis. I hope you have an amazing weekend, and I'll be back on your screen next week. Take care, guys. Love you, and I hope you'll stay with me on this journey. I'm out. Bye.